Right, very cool. First attendees are coming in. Of course, it's a little bit early to start this session, so we'll just wait a few minutes for Jared to wrap up the final bits of his presentation. Whenever he feels like it, he can start sharing his screen already so we can enjoy that beautiful first slide. He's put a lot of time and effort in that, I know for sure. There's many attendees coming in right now. You're in a good position as well, Jared. You're right in between other sessions, so there's no pauses or anything. Everybody can just jump over. I also already see your first slide now. So for those people who don't know Jared, he works at Flexxible IT, where he is a technical sales engineer with more than 12 years of experience. He's very skilled at Citrix, and he's very good at public speaking and communication according to his LinkedIn profile. So we should be in comfortable and good hands here with this session. Any insights on what you're going to talk about today, Jared, before we start?
We're going to talk about VDI performance. How about that? So one of the ways that we help that out is with automation and some monitoring. So we're going to go through that and kind of tell you about the Flexxible story and how we can help your environments run smoother.
That sounds excellent. So we're almost at the moment where we can start with your session. I see the attendee numbers rising still. So again, everybody, we're happy you're here. I'm joining you from Amsterdam. I will be monitoring the chat, and I will be back at the end of this session as well. Jared is going to talk to you from where you're based out of?
Right here.
I'm based out of South Florida.
Cool. So that's perfect. I do also hear Nonna in the background, so if Nonna would be so friendly to her microphone, that would be awesome.
Or you need the ID. Yeah.
Or maybe if VFairs would be so kind. Yep, there we go. So Jared, I hope we can do this without further interruptions. Take the floor and talk to you in 15 minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Mark. So today, like I just mentioned a few minutes ago, we're going to talk about better VDI through automated management and how we can actually make this happen. So we're going to go through the Flexxible IT story and kind of tell you a little bit about who we are. But this is my first virtual event, so I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you guys decided to join us. And just really quick, go over the agenda that we're going to talk about today. From Flexxible IT standpoint, we're going to talk about our vision. We're going to talk about our solutions that we have. We're also going to dive into where we can help your Citrix environment or your VDI environments actually run better, and that's through some monitoring as well as some automation. We'll go over some key takeaways before we close it out, but let's go ahead and get started and talk about who we are and where we're from. So about Flexxible IT. So Flexxible IT was started about 11 or 12 years ago, and it was actually started as a desktop as a service business. So in the desktop as a service business, this was 12 years ago back, I believe the first hypervisors we were using at that point was actually Hyper-V 2008. So you guys can kind of understand why we need to develop some of our own performance tools to make DAS and VDI more achievable at a large scale. But we found through our setting up a desktop as a service environment, we set it up primarily running on Citrix. Citrix is, from our standpoint, the VDI solution that we chose to go with. We love the features that Citrix brings to a VDI environment. We love the support that you get in the different capabilities that you have and the scale that you can achieve with Citrix. But having a large VDI environment also, there are some challenges along with that as well. So you can see some of the common problems that you have, obviously slow logins, performance, that type of thing, different versions of Citrix environments. These are things that are all, real problems that people have in managing their VDI environments. So in order to make this or take these problems and solve them, what we decided to do was we really started fixing those problems in our DAS environment and creating different ways to automate the experience. Everything from deploying an appliance, with Citrix installed that will actually deploy automatically, to helping with the day-to-day management of your Citrix environment as well, adding some automation, adding some monitoring in there, so you can see actually what's going on in the environment to help present solutions to problems, and not just know that the problems are there, but actually be able to address them. So our primary product that we have is Flexxible Suite. And what this is a single pane of glass management console for your VDI environments. So you can have multiple Citrix environments, even multiple tenants, as we're multi-tenant capable. You can have manage all these environments through a single console. We have extensive monitoring and reporting as well, so that you have monitoring not only on the infrastructure, the back-end infrastructure, but also end user monitoring, right? So you can actually take, for instance, take the monitoring capabilities, and you can see, oh, hey, look, our user logins are running 10, 15 seconds slower today. Then you can, in the very same console, go take a look at the infrastructure reports and say, oh, we're having, there's a lot more memory being used. Several of our hosts are running at 90%, 95% memory utilization. So you can very easily correlate end user impact with infrastructure causes that are causing the platform to actually perform slower. So you can go into our console and very, very easily take care of that. We also have things like orchestrated deployment and management tasks. So you might have an environment that needs a new version of Citrix, a new version of something to be installed. We can actually help you with our suites automate the deployment of Citrix. For instance, you go in through our management console and you can just select a few questions: IP addresses, how many NetScalers do you want, how many delivery controllers do you want, just put in some passwords, put in some IP addresses, certificate information, that type of thing. So 5-10 minute wizard, and then hit deploy. What happens then is it actually automates the deployment of Citrix. So you can have a new Citrix site built in an automated fashion. The things that we take advantage of as well when we're working in this automated fashion is we're taking the best practices that Citrix has to offer when it comes to security and performance, and we're actually putting those into place as it's being built. So you're getting economies of scale, you're getting economies of performance, because we're doing this in an automated fashion, so that you can just take a few minutes to put together what needs to be done, and then we'll actually automate the build out of that Citrix site or Citrix farm, depending on the version. So that's some of the orchestration that we have built in. One of the other ways we help with a growing environment is with our flexible appliances. So in some cases, you might have a case where maybe you made your company acquired a new company, and you need quick resources to be able to get those users into your VDI environment. Well, we have a way that with our flexible appliances, using our suite, where you can actually have a flexible appliance. And again, we're taking advantage of automated Citrix rollouts, automated just deployment and configuration of your Citrix environment in an appliance that can be easily just installed into a rack, powered on, answered a few questions, hit go, and in as short a time as 5 to 7 hours, you can have a working Citrix environment up and ready. These can also be plugged into existing environments and used to very quickly add resources to an existing Citrix environment. So you have that acquisition, and you have 300 users that you need to be able to quickly deliver virtual desktops to. This is a way you can do that easily. You might have another department that wasn't using virtual desktops before, but now they are going to be using virtual desktops. The flexible appliance really helps you get those users into a virtual desktop in a very easy fashion. So we have a couple different flavors with our appliances. We have an enterprise appliance, and this is based on Windows Server 2016 using Core or 2016 Core and Hyper-V. So this is an enterprise appliance for those medium to enterprise size clients that just want to have a fully automated Citrix environment ready to go. Again, you go into the wizard, it asks you things like, do you already have a domain controller or not? And we'll even spin up a domain controller, create a domain for you, and then we build everything from the ground up. So creating that, the storage layer on the bottom, installing Hyper-V as the hypervisor, and then we create all of the Citrix infrastructure on top of that. Now, this is not this enterprise appliance is not super customizable. You can make changes. You can get into the back end and change things, but it's going to deploy 2 delivery controllers, 2 storefront servers, and use all the best practices of Citrix to actually build out a Citrix environment for you based on Hyper-V on this appliance. So this is a real quick, easy way to take an appliance and install it and get it working for those small, medium, or enterprise size clients. We also have our Platinum appliance. Maybe you have a really good experience with like VMware, vSphere. Maybe you use Citrix Zen Server, different hypervisor than is supported by our our enterprise appliance. Well, that's why we have our Platinum appliance. These are extremely customizable, and you have many different ways to go, but we still can take advantage of some automated deployment of the Citrix environment to get this appliance plugged into your existing systems to be able to host users in a very quick manner. This really helps secure, because we're using security best practices, performance best practices, all that type of thing built in directly to our appliances. All right, so one of the other things we want to talk about is our monitoring features. So with monitoring features, for instance, we've been talking about performance all day, and performance is great, but if you have a 10-second login, it does no good if you can't show somebody that you have a 10-second login. So for instance, our monitoring features include, and we're very, very proud of this, we have integration with Login PI to be able to get you that real end user information and the end user experience information about what the end users are actually experiencing. Again, you can easily correlate the user experience with platform events. So if you're because you're working in the same console, you can easily see, oh, we have logins spiked, time is increased. We look at platform events, what's going on, or we have a CPU problem, a memory problem. You can easily correlate that. And through our reporting, you can easily see trends. You can get reports. You can automate reports so that the reports even come to you in a in a daily fashion. So you can see, what was the average user report or user login last 3 days, or every day you can get reports on memory usage, for instance. So you can very easily keep up with any of the performance issues that might be occurring on your end. These are some of the dashboards that we have, and these are all very customizable. You can drag and drop them and move them. I have a couple colleagues that are actually they're much better at me at doing the demos and showing how all this information can be used and correlated together. So if you guys are interested, please, in the chat, let us know. We can set up a time to do a more in-depth demo, but you can see here, login average time, bandwidth usage, that type of thing. And so this is exactly what I'm talking about when you see that login average time. If you see a peak there and then look down right below it, and you can see that there's a memory issue in the platform, you can quickly address it. So this is exactly what we're talking about performance. It's about helping increase the performance, but also knowing what the performance is and how to report that. Here, we also have just general session information, how many users, how many logins into your environment. So again, these are really good daily reports that you can run, how many users logged into our environment today, and so forth. And then we also have some automation features, master image deployment, ways that we can automate building the master images, ways that we can automatically deploy things like Office 365. Quick actions for daily use. So very quick scripts that you can run right from our single pane of glass console and easily perform different functions and also provide real-time experience monitoring there. Office 365, we actually automate this through our console where you can actually select the golden image that you want Office 365 to be deployed to. It will actually spin up that golden image and go ahead and install that for you while you can be doing something else. So again, this is helping the performance from a management standpoint. We also have different ways to automate the Citrix infrastructure after it's built out. So we can add a new storefront server, customize branding, and this is all, again, through our single pane of glass console, so you can do all this very, very simply and increase the performance on a management standpoint as well. So in conclusion, this is a Flexxible suite, and our appliances really help increase the productivity, increase the performance from implementing the proper performance metrics in the beginning, proper performance settings, as well as increasing the ability to manage this through a single pane of glass console so that you can get to the problems more quickly and understand what's going on. So that's it, Mark.
Awesome. Great show. I learned a lot. So
Great.
There are actually some questions. So there's Carl.
Okay.
Carl wants to know, we use Hyper-V, for example. Can you measure the performance at that layer across the hypervisor?
Yes, you can.
All right. Yeah, it's a little bit, a few minutes back into the presentation, he asked this.
Yes.
There's a more recent question from Mr. Michael Kennedy. Does your app deployment support app layering style of deployments?
So we do support app layering. We actually have another product that we have that even simplifies that even more. I wish we had another 15 minutes to go through that, but next time.
So check out the Flexxible booth on the expo, right? The people there are also more than helpful in sorting out all of the questions. Let's see, can we pick one more question? What hypervisor do you mostly see with the solution you implement?
So quick answer on that is we see obviously a lot of VMware because they're really big. A lot of our deployments though use Hyper-V, and one of the reasons they use Hyper-V is because we actually can hide the complexity of even the hypervisor, where you can manage a whole Citrix VDI environment and you don't even have to touch Hyper-V. So we see a lot of that in some of the new deployments or deployments for a new version of Citrix, for instance.
Awesome. Well, Jared, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark.
And, for the other attendees, Nick is just beginning his session about, let's see, the top 10 or more performance best practices for VDI, server-based computing, and desktop as a service on public clouds. So I recommend you go back to the auditorium, jump over, and after that session, there will be a break. There will be plenty of people from Flexxible answering questions in the expo. And Jared, again, thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Mark. It's been a pleasure.
Take care. Bye-bye.